The hardest part about losing weight isn't the workouts or the diets. It's what happens after a couple months when everything starts feeling the same. This is the part I'm currently at in my weight loss journey. I've lost a little over 57 pounds, and when I first started, everything feels new. You're motivated and you're locked in. Part of sticking to it is the fact that even though you might be struggling, this struggle is a new feeling you haven't experienced in a long time. For some, it's losing weight for the first time, and part of the reason you are able to do it again the next day is because it's a fresh journey for you. And for a while, it stays that way. But then it starts to get repetitive. You're eating the same food, you're walking the same route, you're lifting the same weights. You're back to square one where a new habit has replaced the old one. But can you really call it a habit if you're still actively trying to make the right choice day in and day out? You broke a bad habit for a good one, but you're still miles away from it becoming a second thought. This is the phase that I'm currently stuck in and the part that no one really talks about. I'm hyper aware of the choices I make from the second I wake up all the way until I go to bed, and it's draining. If I slow down and take a break from the new healthy routine, I'll probably gain the weight back since I'll give up on it entirely. But if I stay on this active route at the pace I'm going at, I fear that I might burn out and give up in that way. What is the right choice, and how can I get over this mental plateau? That's the question I'm asking myself, and I think I found the answer. The one thing I know for sure is that quitting is the wrong answer. That's the answer I turned to in previous weight loss transformations, and it landed me in a worse position than when I started in. I'd gain even more weight and fall into more destructive habits. So with that same line of thinking, that's a choice I can clearly take off the table. I think it's an answer that might have the biggest appeal. If I truly wanted to transform my body, just like all the unhealthy snacks or junk food you might have laying around, I have to get it out before it starts creeping in the back of my head. Now, what about pushing through? We spoke about how that might just lead to burnout, but is that really a problem we have to consider? Truth be told, I do think you have to consider that. Now, that's not an excuse to completely stop because that will lead to quitting, but if you know yourself to know that you're prone to quitting if you are burnt out, you have to find a way to avoid that altogether. You can't reach your goals if you're dealing with the same exact problem. It's not going to magically disappear, so what's the next option? The next option is to slow down. The problem with slowing down is that it'll hurt your progress. Since the start of my journey, I've been going pretty hard and been somewhat diligent about how much I'm consuming and my activity level. So much so that it's paid dividends and I'm already a third of the way towards my goal weight. But I'm gonna be honest here. Who wants to slow down when things are clearly working? You figured out a way to lose weight or gain muscle, and purely because you are finding it boring and repetitive, you talk yourself into limiting your progress, or you stagnate and all your progress you've put in is now on hold. Here's why slowing down might actually be the answer. Everything I said is true and can happen. Progress stops and you're unhappy because you aren't moving at the speed you used to. What people don't realize is that slowing down can be temporary. It doesn't have to be a permanent fix to a temporary problem. Slowing down can be used especially when you know the bad mindset you find yourself stuck in is just a moment in time. The idea I have to get used to is that progress is rarely linear, and the only problem I have to make sure I never revert back to is who I was before I started. So at the end of the day, that has to be the answer, to slow down and don't give up. There's one more piece of the puzzle I rarely see people talk about that has to do with a more subconscious version of your mindset that you aren't used to thinking about. It's the part of you that shapes the choices you make and the decisions you choose without you really realizing that. The ultimate reasoning you make without a second thought because it's how you see the world and everything around you. What I'm talking about is your identity. And I think constantly being aware of that rather than letting it run loose is a part of fitness that can make or break the journey. What I mean is that you have to experience an identity shift from the person who's led you to be in the position you're currently in to the person who will get you out of it. That is the version of yourself you might not realize you are chasing and has nothing to do with the numbers on the scale. Constantly being aware of this pushes you in a direction you didn't think was possible. For me, it was the reason why I started this journey again and why I made this YouTube channel. The person I want to become isn't just what I look like when I reach my goal, but the mentality of the person who reaches it and continues going. This is the part that excites me the most because it's a clear concept that I can fall back on whenever I'm not feeling it. If slowing down is what will keep me from burning out, it's my identity shift that will keep me from quitting altogether. Realizing this is why I'm 57 pounds down and going. I have clear reasoning when I've lost focus and identity guiding me out of it. These two things, I believe, is what's fundamental in not giving up on your goals. So much so, I truly believe you can apply this to other goal driven areas of your life. It took me a long time to realize what the root cause of quitting or never starting at all were, but at the end of the day, I now know that progress made is progress made. Time shouldn't sway you from starting. Perfectionism shouldn't stop you from doing it, and burnout shouldn't make you want to quit. If you take a step back and just realize you have better options, I assure you that it'll make you rethink wanting to give up. If you like the video, go ahead and leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And until then, I'll see you in the next video.
I've been trying to listen while you motivate me, cause all the other times, babe, you drive me crazy. You know I wanna see you in that new Mercedes.